Hi everyone. I was asked to show how my process is to create nice clouds with true sky. So this is something different. Hope you enjoy it too. So before we go and enable true sky, let's see what my Nishita sky does. So it's set up over here like this. Sun intensity to 2, 15, 50. So things like that, okay? And the exposure is set to minus 0.5. Okay, so we're doing a quick render because I want to show you something which was always a little bit surprising to me. So this is just a simple scene done in Tutorin 5. So that's what we get with Nishita Sky. Okay, there we go. So this is the same thing, just a test render. Now let's enable True Sky. And the first thing you can see here is that the exposure is set to -3, and where I had 0.01 and 15, it got changed here, and fast GI approximation has been activated. We can change all that, but one step after the other. So the first thing I do is, because air makes everything kind of yellowish, orangey red, so I'm decreasing that to 0.2, 0.3, something like that. I also like to increase the intensity, and with the default setting on, haze and fog have been activated. So let's deactivate fog and bring the haze more back, because we're rather close and we don't need the haze in the front. So something like this, 0.9, 0.8. Okay. Now we can play with the rotation. So this looks nice. Let's leave it like that. Okay. Here are my settings, you can see them. Let's make it 17 and 29. Size intensity 2, sky strength 1. Okay. Now, before we go clouds, let's go to the quality tab, and it's already activated from my test version. Usually it's done fastest or fast. I go to high. Funny enough, it was I don't know what it was, but if you click high, this setting gets back to 0.01. Fast GI approximation is still on, and the exposure is set to -3. Okay. Oops. So having done that, let's go to cloud and enable them. And it already looks good. However, there was another change, and that was, where is it? Finding things in Blender is, oh yeah, right here. I had the volume at 24 as well, and that was changed to 2, which is okay. But what I like to do is, you don't need to do this, but I like to deactivate fast GI approximation. Where are you? There we go. And you get a totally different setting of your clouds. 15 steps should suffice. And we can go here with 12. Again, that makes a huge difference. So if you play with that, you can change the overall appearance of your clouds. Let's go with 8. Right. So as those clouds are not just images, but real volumetrics, the position of your sun is really important. So if we're slowly rotating, you will get bits which get suddenly darker, and that's because it's behind the cloud. So I want to bring the sun behind our clouds over there. So something like this. And go back to our cloud setting and increase the density to something like 3 in this case. This is stratocumulus. In advanced, I also, some of the clouds, and we will see that, have a wispy option, and I like that as well. However, let's play with the density a little bit more. And if you do that and play with your sun rotation again, you get this nice effect of dark clouds and still. And if you decrease your height, you can get some really cool effects. Look at this sky. I mean, the problem with that is now the sky looks good, but our front doesn't look very nice. So we can counteract that by increasing the sky strength. But the problem is with that kind of flat light angle, we don't get a lot of details in our geometry. So let's increase that again, like so. Bring this back. And this is actually all there is to it. You just need to play with height, rotation, sky strength, intensity, and with density, coverage. So like, you can play like that. Cloud amount. There is so much. I mean, everything just looks great in my opinion. You can do fill gaps. Bring this down again. And of course, there are the location values. You can play with that. And you can see that when I change the position of the cloud, the lighting changes as well, because sometimes the cloud is blocking the sky. So let's go back to our sky and rotate it again. So we're actually getting good detail on our terrain with a couple of shadows. So something like this, right? And now we can play with the positioning of our clouds. So we can bring it to the front, bring it over there, make it even more denser. So what would be the difference now if we're going back? I think in here, and no, of course not, over here, and reactivate fast GI approximation. It would look like this, and that's fine as well. So this is okay. What we're going to do is let's make a test. It says fast GI approximation, so let's see if there's a difference in our rendering. So activate it on my PTC. So what you can also see is our test render at the beginning with Nishita Sky was set to 260 passes or samples. If you activate True Sky, it is set to 128, which is fine as well, just so you know. And I want to know what's the difference between FastGI approximation rendering activated or not. As you can see, it calculates a bit because volumetrics are always taxing. So let's see. Maybe I have to cut this. Right. Took 1 minute, 21 seconds on my system. Now let's go to slot 4, deactivate FastGI approximation, and do another render. So, as you can see, the last was 121, and this is a little bit more than a minute longer, so probably 100% longer than with FastGI approximation. So what's the difference? Let's take a look. This is 1 minute 21, and this is 2 minutes 36. And it's totally up to your liking which version you prefer. Now, let's bring this back on, and the great thing is you can actually see in the viewport what you will be getting. So, and then you can just choose what kind of clouds you want. So let's make this quick, for example. Again, what's the difference? And we could make them sunny or not. We can increase the density. And we're going to stick with the light as is, so we can have a better comparison. Again, FastGI approximation on, off. Let's take a look at another one. Increase the density, on, off. What kind? And we can make those wispy. Increase the density. Decrease the amount. That one should actually look great if I'm having the sun at another. So let's bring this up. Like so. Let's go to 15. Bring that back to 0. You can see this is a very stark contrast. You can actually open this up, and it's the amount of the AO factor. So if I'm putting that to 0, you get exactly the same result as if FastGI approximation is not activated. So you can actually play with that amount here to achieve what you want to get. So let's rotate that. This is very, bring down the density. the wispiness. I mean, I think you get the point. So, but just let's see what we get if we have zeros. If you don't see anything over here, just increase the cloud amount or the cloud coverage. So, and again, AO factor on, or GI approximation and off. Let's play with the density here. You can see you can achieve all kinds of clouds. So this one on, off, no big difference right now. So probably got to do with the density, like so. Play with the amount. Make it wispy. Play with the cloud height. Increase the density. Play with the air factor. I could go on and on and on, but let's make this. So this is a lot of fun, finding the right camera angle, position. For example, and if I'm bringing that behind the clouds over here, I'm getting some really crazy effect. Good. If you like, for example, you like that kind of clouds, but everything else is black, you could use the true binary option, enable more or less the second sun, increase this slightly, rotate it, and you will get, we don't want the color change, we want more like this. So you can actually have a second sun in here. It will change, of course, the cloud scene you have, but that is just another option for lighting your scene. Like that. Go back to the clouds, we can increase the density and get something similar as before. Play with the AO factor over here. Things like that. So as you can see, there are many, many options to create your own individual skyscape, so to speak. Let's bring that back. Play with like this. Right. So here you go. That is how I create skies with true sky and use the cloud function. Again, play with what's available and you will get amazing results, especially if you let light or your sun shine through your clouds or whatever you fancy, but that's how I do it. Hope it was helpful for some of you and see you at the next time. Thanks. Bye.